Trust is one of the fundamental elements in any type of relationship, be it a friendship, a romantic involvement, or with a family member. For this reason, in this video, I will address 7 traits of individuals in whom you cannot place your trust, according to Stoic philosophical principles. First of all, it is imperative to observe whether someone fits any of these attributes that I will mention. However, this can be relatively simple. Just analyze the way people express themselves and act to gain a deeper understanding of who they really are and what their essence is. So, allow me to clarify this. I'm going to address each of these types of people and explain why you should be cautious about trusting them. Before you go any further, make sure you subscribe to the channel and watch until the end because I have something special to share with you. The first type of individual we should consider are narcissists. When dealing with narcissistic people, Stoic teachings remind us of the importance of not allowing their behavior to affect our inner peace. Practicing indifference toward their self-centered actions allows us to maintain our peace of mind, even in the face of their vanity. Consider this: if someone is constantly self-centered and rarely shows concern for others, it is unlikely that you can trust that person. They are excessively concerned about themselves and often put the needs of others in second place. Regardless of who it is not advisable to trust narcissistic individuals as they make their own image their top priority. They do not want anyone to equal or surpass them, and are willing to do anything to maintain their superior image. This constant impulse to worship themselves is extremely risky, as it makes it difficult to predict how far they are willing to go to maintain their self-esteem. Typically, these people tend to blame others for their own mistakes, so it is wise not to trust individuals who talk incessantly about themselves and are more concerned with imposing their opinions than listening to others. These people can harm you at any time to achieve your goals. The second type of person who deserves attention are gossipers. Stoicism also offers guidance on how to deal with gossip and malicious words from others. The Stoics highlight the importance of not giving other people's opinions power over us. If someone is willing to reveal secrets or share information about another person, it is highly likely that they will do the same about you, talking about you and your life behind your back. Believe me, this will almost certainly happen. Gossip is not just a habit, but an action performed for pure pleasure. Therefore, do not make the mistake of believing that just because someone is your friend, they will not divulge your secrets to others. The only advantage of a gossiper is if you want information to spread. In that case, just tell the gossiper, and they will do all the work for you. The third type of person is someone who constantly irritates you. When it comes to dealing with annoying or manipulative people, Stoicism advises us to practice self-reflection. Instead of reacting emotionally, we can stop and reflect on how our own perceptions and reactions affect the situation. It's one thing when you're going through a difficult period in your life and you lose patience with someone due to everyday stress. However, it is completely different when you are calmer but continue to constantly get angry in the presence of a specific person. If someone manages to constantly irritate you, they are probably doing it in a subtle way, throwing ideas that confuse you and undermining your confidence little by little, in small doses, so that you are not fully aware of their emotional and psychological games. Believe me, people who act this way do it out of pure pleasure. Therefore, be careful with subtle games, because if someone manages to irritate you all the time, it is because they are provoking you with gestures and words, and you don't even realize it. The fourth type of people are the indecisive. When it comes to indecisive people, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, our own decisions and actions. It's easy to understand why these people can't be trusted. How can you trust someone who is constantly hesitating when making decisions? If they can't even come up with a plan for their own lives, how can we trust them? Furthermore, they are completely unpredictable, as their decisions are not clear, since their personality is not well defined. Their indecision results from a lack of strong personality, which prevents them from acting and making decisions with confidence. In short, trusting an indecisive person is like trust a child with a knife. You don't know what they'll do when you is not present. The fifth type of people are those who act double-handedly towards you. Stoicism would advise us to be cautious rather than worrying about your actions. Instead, we should focus on cultivating virtue in ourselves. Surely, you have encountered individuals of this type before. They are those who, apparently, show sympathy for you, but, secretly, spread gossip about you. And this behavior extends to other people too. So don't be surprised when you hear criticism about you. One moment they are smiling and being friendly, and the next moment they are tarnishing your image. My recommendation is that when you identify this type of behavior, it is best to walk away from that relationship as quickly as possible. Don't miss the opportunity to master your own emotions. The sixth type of people are those who are constantly involved in many problems. Stoics encourage us to take responsibility for our decisions and emotions rather than blaming luck or circumstances. These people live amidst problems and intrigues, claiming that they have bad luck and that life is a constant punishment. Every day, they claim that a new difficulty arises, and each day seems to bring a new negative consequence. These people are always saying that they don't know what's going on, that everything is difficult, and so on. It is important to be compassionate towards these types of people, but it is also essential not to forget that if someone is constantly facing problems, it is not just a matter of coincidence or the universe conspiring against them. This person usually makes bad decisions, doesn't learn from their mistakes, and probably can't control their own emotions. Therefore, it is advisable to be careful when dealing with individuals of this type, as if you become too involved in their story of misfortunes, it can quickly become a problem for you. The seventh type of people are those who pretend to pay attention to what you say. In situations where people pretend to listen, Stoicism would advise us to be assertive and, if necessary, move away from conversations that do not enrich us. Surely, you have already met someone who, when you share an idea or opinion, responds with a simple, "Yes, I understand," and shows no real interest. This can be annoying and even disrespectful. The worst thing is when that person is more interested in talking about what interests them, and when it's their turn to talk, they simply pretend to listen, distracting themselves with their cell phone or agreeing without really caring about what you're saying. In other words, they hear your words, but they aren't truly paying attention to you. The minimum in a conversation is that the other person is actually involved in the exchange. Otherwise, it's not a conversation. So if you notice that someone isn't paying attention or is faking it, or even worse, is getting distracted while you're talking, simply stop talking. It's not worth wasting your time on people who aren't interested in what you have to say. In short, by analyzing the different types of people who can undermine our trust, we can extract valuable lessons in the search for more authentic and meaningful relationships. By incorporating Stoic teachings, we learn to maintain our inner peace, cultivate virtue, practice authenticity, and exercise self-control in challenging situations. This ends our reflections today. I sincerely hope these tips have been helpful to you. If so, don't hesitate to leave a like and a comment, sharing your own experiences and thoughts. Remember that you are a fundamental part of this channel, and your participation is valued. If you haven't signed up yet, consider doing so, as every small step contributes to your ongoing personal development. Keep moving towards victory. Thank you very much for everyone's attention, and may you all find wisdom and inner peace on your journeys.